The Annapurna Express, 5th of April 2024, already trapped in a Chinese geopolitical snare? Nepal has been occupied by Chinese-funded communist insurgency forces, which have devastated the people's free will in the name of communist ideology and empty promises. In recent years, Nepal has been embroiled in a tug-of-war with three leading global powers, India, China, and the United States. Each nation strives to establish a foothold in Nepal's economy, military, ideology, and technology. Begin with the United States. The Biden administration has established democracy promotion as a principal international objective. Nepal appears to be a top priority for U.S. democracy initiatives in South Asia. The United States has extended an invitation to the Prime Minister of Nepal to attend its yearly democracy summit. At the summit, both communist and non-communist prime ministers were present. The United States is endeavoring to counterbalance the Chinese Communist Party's influence in Nepal and promote democratic values throughout the region. Simultaneously, the United States expresses comparable apprehension regarding the impact of the Bharatiya Janata Party, BJP, of India, which advocates for the reinstatement of a Hindu state in Nepal. According to a U.S. document, the Nepali political class's propensity for balancing relations with its large neighbors, India and the People's Republic of China, PRC, makes security cooperation susceptible to political interference, including with the United States. China has promoted its failed communist ideology internationally despite assertions to the contrary. The country has been promoting its political paradigm in other nations. While masquerading as a demonstration of its accomplishments, China has been exporting its ideology to South Asian nations. The Chinese leadership strongly encourages Nepali counterparts, especially those who adhere to the communist ideology, to adopt the Chinese model. China hosts an annual gathering of Nepalese communist leaders in its urban centers to demonstrate its model of development. Recent statements by Nepali leaders that the country is capable of replicating the Chinese model indicate a growing acceptance of it in Nepal. While India and the United States share common ground on various issues, their perspectives on democratic values in South Asia are notably divergent. Conversely, India is exhibiting divergent sentiments regarding ideology. The Indian government appears dedicated to preserving democracy, secularism, and an inclusive constitution in Nepal. However, the governing Bharatiya Janata Party, BJP, has concerns regarding the 2015 Constitution of Nepal, which it claims incorporates Western values. With Hindu-centric agendas, the Rashtriya Swayamsevak Sangh, the BJP's parent organization, is reaching out to all political parties and the general public. Through such endeavors, the BJP hopes to diminish Western influence in Nepal, demolish secularism, and restore the Hindu state. Already, such actions are causing divisions within Nepal's political landscape. Nepal contends not only with ideological conflicts but also with strategic challenges presented by major powers. China's interactions with Nepal are governed by the Debt and Trapping Belt and Road Initiative, BRI, and its insistence on the One China policy. Comparable emphasis is being placed on China's Global Development Initiative, GDI, Global Security Initiative, GSI, and Global Civilizational Initiative, GCI, rather than economic matters. Nepal has steadfastly adhered to the One China policy for over 5 decades. However, China remains unconvinced and consistently demands reaffirmation of the One China policy. In September of last year, following Prime Minister Pushpa Kamal Dahal's visit to China, Nepal reaffirmed its steadfast opposition to Taiwan's independence in a press release. During his visit to China a month ago, his newly appointed foreign minister, Narayan Kaji Shrestha, expressed a similar viewpoint. Despite China's persistent emphasis on the Belt and Road Initiative, BRI, during numerous meetings, concrete advancements in infrastructure development under the auspices of the BRI remain elusive. According to foreign policy analysts, politicians, government officials, and officials, Nepal must capitalize on China's economic expansion. Nevertheless, this ambition has remained unfulfilled due to the substantial emphasis both nations give to strategic considerations. Despite the increasing level of high debt, high-interest Chinese investment in Nepal and the growing cooperation between the two countries in recent years, significant investment initiatives that have the potential to stimulate economic expansion continue to elude realization. Nepal focuses predominantly on safeguarding its territory against any utilization of anti-China endeavors. The Chinese party has occasionally lodged complaints concerning the challenges encountered by its investors in Nepal. 4 years were spent debating whether or not Nepal should accept the $500 million in Millennium Challenge Corporation (MCC) funding on behalf of the United States government. Finally, the MCC initiatives are being implemented. However, progress on the endeavor has fallen short of expectations. A lackluster commitment on the part of the government is frequently cited as the cause of the sluggish progress. The lackluster reaction could be attributed, in part, to China's vehement resistance to the initiatives that classified them as components of the Indo-Pacific Strategy, IPS. In the IPS context, Nepali politicians, bureaucrats, and experts continue to struggle to perceive U.S. policy toward Nepal. After deliberations on the IPS, Nepal's focus transitioned to the State Partnership Program (SPP), implemented by the United States government. The Nepali Congress government, commanded by Sher Bahadur Deuba, issued a letter to the United States government stating that Nepal would not participate in the SPP in response to domestic pressure. In recent months, there has been a significant increase in American investors interested in investing in Nepal. Nevertheless, Nepal has failed to tackle this concern adequately despite a substantial escalation in United States aid via USAID. This demonstrates that Nepal has already been trapped in the geopolitical snare set by China. The lack of substantial investments in priority sectors in Nepal can be attributed to significant powers placing greater emphasis on their security and strategic interests. While Nepal actively promotes increased economic collaborations, bilateral negotiations and public discourse are primarily occupied with strategic concerns. Nepal presently places significant emphasis on economic recovery, mitigating the effects of climate change, and job creation. However, in light of geopolitical tensions, these concerns are being relegated to a secondary position in the country's interactions with significant powers. It has been difficult for Nepal to adopt a unified position on endeavors such as the IPS, BRI, and other strategic undertakings. Although the government ought to prioritize addressing these challenges, the nation is afflicted by internal political instability. Gradually, geopolitics is engendering divisions in Nepali society. Nepal must undertake a coordinated endeavor to address internal divisions and devise a trajectory that protects its interests amid global power struggles.